Hi, my name is Natasha, and today I'm going to show you a different way to play tennis and a modified way to play tennis. This one is specifically to somebody that would be in a wheelchair or confined to a chair, maybe due to an injury. This can also keep them included in every PE lesson as well. Okay, my name is Miss McGee, and today I'm going to show you a modified game of tennis. This can be used for anybody who may be confined to a wheelchair or have a leg issue or a leg injury that they can't really have the movement where they're standing up, running, going side to side. This also can be used for people who want to stay active, who might have ACL injuries and can't do those lateral movements anymore. What I'm going to start off with is just a warm-up. So the warm-up usually would consist of, I'm staying in this chair the entire time. This will be a modified game where you're staying in the chair the entire time. You can do this if you have these injuries or these disabilities, but you can also do this if you just want to participate in the modified game. So we're going to start off with a warm-up. I'm going to have the tennis racket in my favorite hand. My favorite hand is my right hand, that's my dominant hand, so I'll have that one right out in front of me. This game can be used for people that are basically K-12 and older. So I will have this tennis racket out right in front of me. I'm staying in my chair. What I'm going to do is take the tennis ball, start off as a little warm-up, just hitting it out in front of me. Then I can stop it and switch hands. I will now be using my non-dominant hand, which is my left, or my least favorite hand. And I'm just keeping it up. Notice how my eyes are on the ball the entire time. And I'm trying to make sure that this ball reaches the center of the racket. That's where it has more space and will be able to bounce up where you want it. Just right in front of you. Now, this does require some core movement, so if there is an issue with the core, basically what you just want to do is stabilize it a little bit better. But as you can see, my feet were staying on the ground and my hips weren't moving either. That will be your warm-up, so just keeping it out in front of you. Just like that. Another way to modify this is if the tennis ball is maybe a little bit too much, getting out of control, you can use a balloon to modify it, you can use a beach ball to modify it, or you can even use a bigger racket. There's plenty of ways to use different modifications. Right now we're going to use the tennis ball, but there definitely are different ways that you can think. You can even deflate a balloon a little bit less, make it a little bit smaller, make it a little bit bigger, maybe blow it up. You can also use a beach ball and deflate it a little bit so that when it comes down, it's not coming down as fast and it's going up slower as well. So you have more time to have that central focus on the ball contacting the racket, no matter what ball or racket it is. Next, we're just going to focus on how to pass. So what I'm going to do is have my arm out, have my elbow out right here as well. This one can be a little bit difficult. I'm just going to move my chair for purposes. I will have my tennis racket out right in front of me. Behind me, we're going to pretend that is either a partner or the wall that it is. This can be used in different ways. You can have a person be active in this kind of situation when they have just a ball, maybe not another partner, or they can have a partner on the other side of them, whether that be in a wheelchair or standing up. So what I'm going to do is have my ball out, or my tennis racket out in front of me. My elbow is kind of locked so that it's not a flimsy hit. I'm going to try and lock it. Again, there can be modifications to help and assist this person as well if they can't keep it as locked. I'm going to take my other hand and I'm going to take the tennis ball and just drop it pretty much about waist level. Even in a wheelchair, I'm going to keep it waist level because that is where my tennis racket still will remain. So I'm going to drop it and make contact. Drop it. I can also switch to the other side. Hold it with my left hand, drop the ball, and make contact. Drop the ball, and make contact. If you're getting a little bit more skilled in this practice, you can back up for modification, or you can move closer for modification. Another way to make it a little bit more challenging and a little bit more of a free flow is switching hands. Hopefully, if you have a nice gym floor, then hopefully it'll bounce back directly towards you. But situations are not always perfect. So we're just gonna keep bouncing it. The reason why I'm catching it in my hand after the ball does come back is that it can be difficult to get it off of those grounds. Let's try it without that. The next skill I would like to go over is how to do an overhand serve while still confined to that chair or the wheelchair, whatever it may be. This one may be a little bit difficult due to the spaces that you may have, and I would suggest that it is done outdoors or in the proper gymnasium space. So what we're going to do is just back up that chair about probably 5 yards, and then we're going to practice our overhand swing. Before I do the overhand swing in full motion, I just want to go over the steps. What I'm going to do is take my tennis racket, and I'm going to have it on the side of me on my dominant side or dominant hand. With me, it is my right. When I take the tennis ball, I am going to toss it in the air. I want to try and get it up at a level where I can still view it with my eyes. So I'm using my eye-hand coordination. So I'm going to throw it in the air and strike the ball downwards. So I'm following it up, striking it downwards. Following it up, striking it downwards. When you're using a wall, you can almost see it coming back directly at my feet. Using a wall, striking it downwards. Another good suggestion for things like this is to have an extra set of balls right on the side of you so that you can keep yourself as active as possible and the waiting time is not that long as well. Now I'm going to show you what the serve should look like in full motion. This next clip is to show you how to pass it with the wall and a better flow. Please feel free to pause this video at any time and slow it down or speed it up as you may need. I hope you find the time of your day to use some of these different skills and games. They can be enjoyable for everyone.